You would have thought that after my last epic sailing voyage aboard the yacht Fiona, I would never ever set foot on a sailboat again. But as always, adventure overtook common sense. In June 2014, Fran and I chartered a 46-foot catamaran, complete with a captain and a chef, to take us on a slow, intimate journey throughout one of the most beautiful places on Earth, the British Virgin Islands. Sit back now and let us share our adventure as you watch BVI 2014. When you live in Costa Rica, traveling to other countries can sometimes be quite a challenge. What would have been a simple 90-minute flight to the BVI turned into an all-day trek that included 3 plane flights, an intra-island commute on a high-speed ferry, coupled with massive delays thanks to airport security and inefficient customs stations.
Kind of been a long day. I think Brown's getting a little frustrated. I mean, Costa Rica seems pretty organized than St. Thomas. But anyway, they're gathering everybody's passport so we can go ahead and get on the ferry and go out to Tortola, where we'll spend 2 nights and 1 day, and then we head on our boat cruise. Well, we had a little faux pas today, and you know how Brown is. If he doesn't have everything organized, everything buttoned up, he kind of flips out a little bit. They lost the luggage. Actually, they lost his bag, which I think is really funny. I offered that he could have some of my clothes, but he really didn't think that was very funny. I thought it was hysterical. So tomorrow, they'll bring it over to the ferry. Everything will be fine. Brown, tranquila. Has 5 years in Costa Rica done anything to you? I think not.
However, by day's end, we finally made it to our destination, Road Town, on the island of Tortola. I've always prided myself in doing aggressive research before going on any vacation. But on this trip, I kind of screwed up. With the status of my luggage still in limbo, I needed to buy a few essentials to tide me over until my bag and I were once again reunited. So after a mediocre hotel breakfast, we set out to buy some necessities before tomorrow's departure. After walking around town for over an hour, we soon came to learn one very important fact. Tortola is closed on Sundays. Not one stinking store anywhere on the entire island was open for business. But we didn't let that stop us. We hired a private taxi for the day to show us around the island and give us a good first-person tour of what Tortola would look like tomorrow. The weather was great and the scenery spectacular, so we enjoyed the day for what it was, a relaxing tour de force on a tranquil island community.
Well, this morning is our free day. All day today is our free day. So we went ahead and hired Lonely. He's our tour guide for the day. He'll take us out for about 5 hours, show us the countryside. It's really very beautiful here. Now we're up in the mountains, so it is cooler, a nice breeze coming off the water over here. I don't see any stray animals, nice and clean, but I do hear a lot of roosters all the time. So that's kind of fun, kind of makes us think about home. So let's go on a little more, and Lonely can kind of show us around and tell us the sights.
This incredible wall has been decorated with several murals depicting what life is like, or what life was like, here in the British Virgin Islands. Okay, here we are. We're at the Colwood Rum Distillery, here somewhere near on Tortola. I don't know where the hell it is. But like everything else, it's Sunday. It's closed, so there's no tours, but they will sell me rum. I might do that.
Darker, much more smoother for like sipping. And then this one has a ladies' rum where you go on your date and you don't want to do much talking. You give this one to your lady.
Okay.
I heard about that.
We're out in an area right now called Long Bay. This is on the west end of Tortola. This is one of the most beautiful beaches I've seen around here, and our driver, Mr. Lonely, has told us that this is actually the #1 favorite beach in all of Tortola.
But God, this is beautiful. I could live here. I think I might. Maybe the hell with Florida. Maybe we just stay here. What do you think, Brown?
You can't drink the water.
Yeah, that's true. I can't drink the water. But I could have a cistern and have the water come off the roof and try to drink that dirty water. But yeah, you can't drink the water here.
Stress levels are down. My missing bag finally arrived this morning. So after downing a couple of cups of coffee, we made our way over to the moorings check-in center to meet our crew and fellow boatmates. Well, we're about 20 minutes away from check-in over here at the moorings in beautiful Tortola, British Virgin Islands. We've looked around a little bit. I found the boat that we're going to be going on. It's called the Laura Dawn. I met the captain, and his name is Alan, and we're going to be hooking up in about 20 minutes, meeting him and the first mate, which I think is his wife, Felicity. And we're just getting ready to go ahead and stow our stuff on board and get acclimated and meet everybody and meet the other people that we're going to be touring with. So it looks like it's going to be a really, really fun day. The boat looks good. It's a 46-foot catamaran. I know it's got a two-man sea kayak on board. He's got a couple of stand-up paddles. He's got snorkeling gear, fins, masks, the whole 9 yards. So I don't think we're going to want for anything when it comes to water sports. We soon boarded the Laura Dawn and went through a round of introductions.
And I'm from Perth, Ontario, Canada, and that's just 80 kilometers west of Ottawa, the capital.
And so you two know each other how?
We met at a summer job in Burlington, Ontario, and have traveled over the years together because our husbands don't like to travel.
Yeah. That is such a common thing.
It is, yeah. So we're BFFs.
I'm so glad you don't.
While sailing is a relaxing way to while away the hours, it can be very dangerous. Personal safety is paramount, which is why the first thing on the agenda was Felicity's safety talk.
And all by diving in. Watch where they are. Immediately, Alan will not leave the helm because he's got to turn the boat around. Immediately, I will go and...
While our crew made certain we would want for nothing, they did make one simple request. They asked us to be mindful of the limited supply of fresh water on board. Bottom line, no long showers. The Laura Dawn is a 46-foot catamaran. Sporting a wide beam of 24 feet, there is ample room for everybody to spread out and not feel crowded. Aside from the crew's quarters, this boat comes complete with 3 additional staterooms. Enough to accommodate 7 adults. I was really happy to see that each room had its own toilet, shower, and air conditioner. Moments later, Captain Allen delivered our bags to our stateroom. Fran and I quickly donned our bathing suits, and I grabbed the first beer that I could find, and then I started exploring the ins and outs of the Laura Dawn.
I found my spot. Just depends if there's too much sun, but this is pretty sweet right here.
Our week at sea will take us to many exotic sites located throughout the island chain that makes up the BVI. We began our journey from the moorings headquarters in Roadtown on the island of Tortola. On day 1, we crossed the Sir Francis Drake Channel, where we drop anchor at Peter Island and eventually overnight at Cooper Island. The remainder of our adventure will have us traveling to several islands such as Virgin Gorda. Here, we will explore the intriguing rock formations known as the Baths, then on to Leverick Bay for needed restocking of our beer and wine supplies. On the island of Anegada, we will be treated to some of the biggest lobsters found anywhere in the Caribbean. The final leg of our cruise has us heading to the touristy island of Joost van Dyke, where our objective is to just chill out and relax. So that's the itinerary. Enough of the chatter. Let's watch some video. After a perfect day-long sail to Virgin Gorda, we dropped anchor in Devil's Bay. Our plan is to overnight in this protected cove and head to shore tomorrow after piling down another incredible Felicity breakfast. The Baths is a must-see destination on any trip to the BVI. Located at the southwestern tip of Virgin Gorda, this natural wonder is made up of massive granite boulders, which form sheltered sea pools on the beach's edge. Exploring the Baths can only be done on foot and requires a good sense of balance and endurance. If one is not sure-footed or unable to traverse slippery granite rocks, you might consider staying on the boat.
Up this morning, I think only the captain is up and me and Andy, and that's it. It's like 6:30 in the morning. Took a shower, thought I kind of messed up the shower because it wasn't draining. To find out, there's a button you have to push to have the water drain out. Never knew that. To be honest, I haven't washed my hair in a couple of days. Why bother? So today I think we're going over to, I don't know if it was Bat Island or some island that we can walk around. It's rainy, it's dreary, but it's still absolutely beautiful. I really love being on the water, and this catamaran is amazing. I feel like lifestyles of the rich and famous. It is so cool. Brown and I are already talking about maybe a second trip in a year or two, because I think we like this lifestyle. It's really neat. Let's see what happens this morning. And I would go out in the front of the deck, but it is raining a little bit. I did just take a shower, so I don't want to get wet all over again. So let's see if this selfie worked. See you later.
No, you didn't fall in.
To the bath!
Getting to shore can be a bit precarious. We were able to dinghy in, but not all the way. High waves and swift currents preclude us from taking the dinghy all the way to shore. We had to tie up about 50 yards offshore and swim in. It's not a big problem, but it's not an excursion for those who may be out of shape. Once on shore, Captain Allen gave us a heads up on what to see and what to do.
So now we'll go through this way, through the bath, and I'll show you and we'll tell you all the bits and pieces about it.
Then he led the way through a series of very tight-fitting caverns that, when observed from the rear, creates a somewhat less than flattering viewing angle for those who were following. Having successfully hauled our collective asses back on board, we headed back to the boat and secured the dinghy for our run to Leverick Bay on the northern tip of Virgin Gorda. Here, we're going to spend the night, restock our beer and wine, and have a chance to take our first real shower. And because we're going to be connected to the dock's water supply, we're going to have the luxury of unlimited hot water.
Hey, Muscle Man. What do you think?
I didn't know this was going to be a working trip.
You're gonna get an official orange certificate.
After an incredible night's sleep and way more wine than I should have had, this day is going to take us on a trek across open waters, 15 miles to be exact, to the island of Anegada. Although Anegada is the second largest island in the BVI chain, it's home to only 285 residents. We came to Anegada for two reasons. One was to eat lobster, and the second reason was to eat even more lobster. Anegada is actually a coral atoll whose highest point is only 25 feet above sea level. Approach to the island can be precarious because of its extreme shallow depth. Even though the draft of the Laura Dawn is only 4 feet deep, we had to moor the boat several hundred yards offshore and take the dinghy in. Once ashore, we took some sort of open-air taxi bus to the north side of the island where we snorkeled. A few hours later, we sat down at what can only be described as a crustacean orgy. These lobsters were so bloody huge that Franny and I actually shared a single large lobster. Well, with no further damage to be done, we returned to our floating home for a bit more wine and a good night's sleep. The BVI is famous for its warm, clear waters. She attracts diving and snorkeling enthusiasts from around the globe to sample the beauty and wonder of her hidden treasures. With near perfect conditions on every day of our trip, I had the opportunity to partake in this natural spectacle. It's about 20 minutes after 4 in the afternoon. It's an absolutely spectacular day today. I just got finished taking about a 2-hour nap as we transited from wherever the hell we were. And now we're back over here. And Felicity's in the kitchen making up some dinner. And they said, hey, we're at anchor, we're spending the night. If you want to go ahead and snorkel, go for it. And it really, really looks sweet. So, if you don't mind, I'm going back down and gonna catch some more sights. Well, we've been out for an all-day sail today after doing a little bit of a hike through the Baths. But now we're at the southern end of the island in an area called Limerick's Bay. We've put in for the night. We're having to go ahead and top the fuel tanks off, get some water, and wash down the boat and do some other things, of which I don't have to do. But now we're going to go out and cruise around, and we'll be back at you.
But before I knew it, the sun was set and gone. Jah made known his presence as I made my way home. Jaja beat me with a coconut. I don't know which way is up. Jah let gravity send it from the tree to me. Left a big lump on my head. I should have gone home instead. Jaja beat me with a coconut.
With our sailing adventure nearly 2/3 over, we once again raised sail for our most aggressive transit of this trip, Onegada to Joost Van Dyke. While only about 3 square miles in area, Joost Van Dyke and its 285 residents prepare every day for the onslaught of tourists who are aching to pulverize their brain on the local alcoholic favorite, the painkiller. And I can attest, through much first-person testing, that it does exactly what its name implies. I'd like to say that this is going to be the most relaxing portion of our trip, but in truth, that was true from the moment we first stepped aboard this awesome catamaran. Since Fran and I are really not into buying t-shirts and various vacation-induced dust collectors, our goal is to swim into shore, check out the local beachside bars, take care of our excessive pain, and wait for our rubber limo to haul our sorry asses back to the boat for dinner, and eventually our sail back to Tortola.
For this ill, he said that he was sorry, but this there is no pill. After I confided, he said to take my advice, son. Jah made known his presence, and you don't want to know it twice.
And Jaja beat you with a coconut. You don't know which way is up. Jah let gravity send it from the tree you see.
Left a big lump on my head.
Yes,
I should have gone home instead.
Jaja beat you with a coconut.
We managed to do some really serious damage at 2 of the more popular bars in the area, Foxy's and the Soggy Dollar. These are fine beachside drinking holes, but the one that really got my attention was Willie T's. Willie T's isn't much to look at. In fact, it kind of reminds me of an old garbage scowl. But once you get on board, it's a different story. It seems that Willie T's seems to cater to more than the decadent and hedonistic crowd.
Yes, man.
Left a big lump on my head. I should have gone home instead. Jaja beat me with a coconut.
The patrons are encouraged to abandon their social correctness, strip down and go for it, with the hopes that their bosses back home never check their Facebook page.
Not a mercy.
With Joost Van Dyke now behind us, it's time for us to just kick back and let our crew do their sailing thing.
The ladies hoist the mainsail. The weatherman says snow for the weekend. Some people can't get way up, but we can.
This was an incredible vacation. As I was telling the girls here, it exceeded my expectations. Some things I thought we were going to do, we didn't do, but other things we did were magnificent. So I say it definitely exceeded my expectations. These 2 people right here, the cameraman and me, we'll be doing this again. We might not come to this area because we want to try some other areas, but we will definitely do this again. This was magnificent. Not as good as Africa, but magnificent. I highly recommend someone who's interested in cruising to try a trip with moorings. They did a fantastic job, and our crew was the best.
Well, all good things have to come to an end. After 6 glorious, fantastic days out here on the seas, we're finally having to put the boat away and let it sail another day. We finished 6 days of cruising the British Virgin Islands, had an absolutely splendid time, great food, great crew, great boat, and we had the chance to meet some really cool people along the way. So, that's about it. Now my work's in front of me. Now I got to start editing all this stuff together. This is it. This is the last shot. Pack mule in hand here. Got everything. Mine, hers, and all my camera gear. So this is it. This is absolutely finally it. We're out of here. We hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, please contact us. We'll always try to give you a straight and honest reply. While we really enjoyed sailing the British Virgin Islands, our charter company, the Moorings, and especially our captain and first mate, Alan and Felicity Cornish, were indispensable in helping to plan and execute this incredible vacation. In all likelihood, we're going to do another cruise with the Moorings, but something a bit more cultural. We're thinking maybe Italy's Amalfi Coast, or maybe even the Greek Isles. Once again, thanks for watching. This is Andy Brown from Boomers Offshore saying adios and stay in touch.
Just say friends of Boomers off. We'll say the last bit. What are we wishing them?
Just wish you were here, or something like that.
We just want to say hi to you guys. Okay.
There you go.
All
Okay,
right.
so I'm rolling right now, and
Hi everyone, I'm Barb
I'm Sue,
and we're from Ontario, Canada.
and we just want to wish all you Boomers offshore a good day. That wasn't right.
Enjoy, it's beautiful in the BVI.